Have you ever sat beside someone who's been married for over 40 years and noticed the silence between them? Not the comfortable kind of silence, but the heavy, unspoken one. The kind that tells a story of words never said, of hearts slowly drifting apart. Many older women across America quietly carry this weight, wondering, how did we get here? Why do so many older women resent their husbands after decades of living together? And more importantly, can it still be fixed? In a small town near Madison, Wisconsin, a 72-year-old woman named Evelyn Carter shared her story. She said, "It wasn't one big fight that made me resent my husband. It was the little things. The way he stopped listening. The way he dismissed my worries. The way he made me feel invisible." Her words reflect what countless women around the world feel but never say out loud. Evelyn's story isn't rare, it's painfully common. Researchers from the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research found that women in long-term marriages tend to experience increased resentment and emotional fatigue as they age, especially when communication fades and appreciation declines. In other words, the resentment doesn't happen overnight, it grows, slowly and quietly, like a crack beneath the surface of what once looked like a perfect bond. There are 5 hidden reasons why there's this growing divide between older women and their husbands, and they're not about infidelity or finances. They're about unmet emotional needs, unspoken pain, and years of withholding resent that never found a voice. The tragedy is, most couples never talk about it until it's too late. But what if we could change that? What if husbands, here's your chance to finally understand the truth behind your wife's quiet frustration. In this video, we're not here to point fingers. We're here to bring understanding, to bridge the emotional gap that's torn so many marriages apart. Whether you're a husband trying to reconnect, or a wife who feels unseen, this conversation is for you. Because love at 60 or 70 doesn't have to fade, it can evolve, deepen, and heal if both sides are willing to learn. So stay with us till the end. In this episode of Golden Age Wisdom, we'll uncover the emotional truths that most couples ignore, the 5 ways to rebuild closeness, and the real stories from people who have learned to turn resentment into renewal. Because it's never too late to rediscover love, if you know how to listen, and if you still believe that marriage can grow old without growing cold. Reason number 1, emotional neglect, the quiet distance between 2 hearts. It rarely happens all at once. Emotional neglect doesn't begin with shouting or anger, it begins in the quiet moments when 2 people stop truly seeing each other. Over time, that quiet grows louder than words. For many older women, this is the first hidden crack in the foundation of marriage. It's not that they stop loving their husbands, it's that they begin to feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated, like their feelings no longer matter. Take Linda Matthews, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Tucson, Arizona. When she first married her husband, Daniel, he was her best friend. "We used to talk about everything," she said. "Our dreams, our fears, our plans. But now, when I speak, it's like I'm talking to the wall. He just nods or looks at his phone." Linda's voice trembled when she said, "It's not about romance anymore. It's about being noticed." That sentence, so simple, yet so heartbreaking, captures the essence of what many older women resent in their long marriages. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, studying marital satisfaction among seniors, found that emotional responsiveness, the ability to show care, attention, and empathy, is one of the strongest predictors of happiness in older couples. When husbands stop engaging emotionally, wives often internalize that absence as rejection. Over years, that turns into bitterness, even if they can't name it. This is where the quiet distance begins, 2 people sitting beside each other, yet living miles apart emotionally. So why this distance? Often, husbands believe that providing financially or handling practical needs equals love. Many men over 60 were raised to show love through actions, not words. But what happens when those actions no longer speak to a woman's emotional world? What happens when the wife demands connection, but her husband only hears criticism? The result is years of withholding resent, not out of anger, but out of loneliness. There are 5 hidden emotional needs that older wives often keep inside: the need to be appreciated, the need to be heard, the need for affection, the need for understanding, and the need for partnership. When those needs are ignored, resentment slowly builds, not because the marriage is broken, but because the emotional bridge has eroded. One therapist from Chicago Senior Relationship Institute explains, emotional neglect is not about absence of love. It's about absence of attention. And attention is the oxygen of every long-term relationship. Husbands, face the truth. Your wife doesn't want perfection, she wants presence. She wants you to ask how she feels, to remember her stories, to look at her when she speaks. Those small moments rebuild what time and silence have taken away. In the next part, we'll uncover the second reason older women resent their husbands, and how simple daily choices can begin to heal this quiet distance. But before we go there, are you still watching? If yes, type number 2 in the comments to let us know you're still with us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom for more inspiring lessons about love, aging, and emotional renewal. Reason number 2. Unmet expectations, the unspoken contract of marriage. Every marriage begins with a silent promise, a kind of unspoken contract between two people who believe they'll always understand each other. But as the years pass, life changes the terms. Health declines, children grow up and leave, and the sense of purpose shifts. What once felt like partnership can start to feel like imbalance. Many older women discover that the dreams they once shared with their husbands have faded into routines, and with that comes quiet disappointment, a feeling they can't always explain, but that shapes how they see their partner. Margaret Hill, a 70-year-old retired nurse from Columbus, Ohio, described it perfectly. When we were young, I thought we were a team. We'd conquer life together. But as we aged, I became the caretaker, for him, the house, and everyone else. I never signed up for that, but somehow it became my job. Her eyes softened as she added, he doesn't mean to take me for granted. But after 50 years, I guess we both forgot to check if we were still walking in the same direction. This is one of the 5 hidden roots of why older women resent their husbands, the mismatch between what they hoped marriage would be and what it actually became. Psychologists call this the expectation gap. A 2021 study from the American Journal of Geriatric Psychology found that when long-term partners fail to communicate changing expectations, like emotional support, shared decision-making, or physical affection, resentment and emotional distance grow sharply after age 60. So, why there's so much misunderstanding in later life marriages? One reason is that older couples often stop redefining their relationship as they age. Husbands, face the truth. What your wife needed at 30 isn't the same as what she needs at 70. She may no longer want expensive gifts or grand gestures. She may simply want you to ask how her day feels, not just how it went. When these small acts of empathy disappear, withholding resent becomes a defense mechanism. It's not anger, it's grief for the love that used to feel alive. Many men think, I've done my part, I worked hard, I stayed loyal, I provided. But for many women, the wife demands something deeper now, emotional partnership, shared purpose, a sense that they still matter beyond the household. As one marriage counselor from Seattle's Aging Relationship Clinic said, most resentment in later marriages isn't about what's been done wrong. It's about what's been left undone. That realization can be painful, but it can also be freeing. Because unmet expectations can be met again, if couples choose to rewrite their story instead of reliving the past. If you're still watching this far, type number 2 in the comments to show that you're learning something valuable today. And don't forget, your support helps this message reach more couples who need healing. So please like, share, and subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom for more heart-opening insights about love, aging, and emotional connection. Reason number 3, communication breakdown, when words stop bridging hearts. It's said that words can build bridges, but silence builds walls. Over time, those walls become so thick that even the simplest, "How was your day?" starts to sound like noise instead of care. This is where many long marriages stumble, not because love disappears, but because communication quietly dies. When older women resent their husbands, it's often not because of one argument, but because of years of unspoken pain, misunderstood words, and the growing habit of emotional withdrawal. Joanne Parker, a 74-year-old widow from Raleigh, North Carolina, remembered the slow unraveling of communication in her marriage. "We used to laugh every night before bed," she said, smiling faintly. "Then somewhere after 60, we stopped. We still spoke, about bills, groceries, doctor appointments, but never about us. When I tried to tell him I was lonely, he said, but I'm right here." He didn't understand that physical presence isn't the same as emotional connection. Joanne's story mirrors countless others, couples living under the same roof, but no longer reaching for each other's hearts. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that couples over 65 experience a sharp decline in empathic communication, that is, the ability to truly listen and respond emotionally, compared to their younger years. The research concluded that when one partner feels unheard, especially women, withholding resent becomes their way of protecting themselves from more disappointment. It's not malice, it's emotional self-defense. Husbands, hey race where the truth gets uncomfortable. Communication isn't just talking, it's listening, reflecting, and validating. Many men grew up in households where emotions were seen as weakness. But when that mindset enters marriage, it breeds disconnection. Women, on the other hand, often process emotions through conversation, through storytelling, empathy, shared vulnerability. When their words hit a wall, they slowly stop trying. There are 5 ways to start rebuilding communication. Keycap 1: Listen without fixing. Don't rush to offer solutions, just be present. Keycap 2: Ask, don't assume. Simple questions like, what do you need from me right now, can open new doors. Keycap 3: Use I feel statements instead of blame. Keycap 4: Express gratitude daily. Appreciation is emotional glue. Keycap 5: Relearn curiosity. The person beside you isn't the same one you married, and that's okay. These small shifts are powerful. Because every healed marriage begins with one honest conversation, one moment where someone finally says, I miss talking to you. And if you're wondering why there's so much distance today, it's because too many couples mistake silence for peace. But silence is not peace, it's pause. And every pause can be unpaused, if both hearts are willing. Stay tuned, because in the next section, we'll talk about how wife demands for partnership and appreciation often get misunderstood, and how that misunderstanding creates one of the biggest emotional divides in later life. Reason number 4, misunderstood demands, when a wife's needs sound like complaints. One of the most painful truths about long marriages is this: what begins as a plea for connection often gets mistaken for criticism. Many older women resent their husbands not because they want to argue, but because they feel unheard, and every time they try to express their feelings, they're told they're nagging or never satisfied. Over the years, these wife demands for attention, empathy, or simple companionship become labeled as complaints. But behind every sharp tone is a softer truth, a longing to be seen again. Take Carol Simmons, a 71-year-old grandmother from Denver, Colorado. She recalled how her husband used to dismiss her attempts to talk about their relationship. I'd say, I feel lonely, and he'd say, you have me right here, don't you? It felt like talking to a wall, she shared. After a while, I stopped trying. Then he wondered why I was always cold toward him. Her story isn't unique, it's one of the 5 hidden emotional dynamics that slowly turn affection into resentment. According to a 2022 study from the American Psychological Association, couples in long-term marriages often experience a communication distortion. Women express emotional needs more directly, while men interpret those needs as dissatisfaction or blame. This mismatch fuels misunderstanding, especially in older couples raised during eras when women were expected to keep quiet and endure. Husbands, embrace the uncomfortable but freeing truth: your wife's frustration isn't an attack. It's an invitation, a sign that she still cares enough to want something more from you. When she says, you never listen, what she really means is, I miss the man who used to listen. When she says, you don't care, she's saying, please notice me again. Experts call this phenomenon withholding resent, the emotional buildup that comes when attempts to connect are repeatedly shut down. Over time, women begin to suppress their needs to avoid conflict, creating a cycle of silence that looks peaceful but feels empty. There are 5 ways to break that cycle. Keycap 1: Stop defending, start understanding. Keycap 2: Acknowledge her emotions, even if you disagree. Keycap 3: Validate before responding. Keycap 4: Practice small daily gestures, a compliment, a gentle touch, a thank you. Keycap 5: Remind her that she still matters to you. As older women resent their husbands for emotional neglect, it's often because those small reassurances have vanished. But the good news is that what's lost can be rebuilt, not with grand gestures, but with consistent empathy. So, if you're still here and still watching, type number 4 in the comments. Speech balloon let us know that you believe in second chances, that even after decades, love can still grow stronger. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom for more heartfelt insights and real-life stories that inspire healing, forgiveness, and understanding in the golden years. In the next part, we'll uncover one of the most overlooked yet powerful reasons older women resent their husbands, when physical and emotional intimacy quietly fade, leaving behind a silence that even time struggles to fill. Reason number 5, the fading intimacy, when touch becomes a memory. Physical and emotional intimacy often fade quietly in long-term marriages, leaving many older women feeling like strangers in their own homes. This isn't about attraction or desire alone, it's about connection. When hugs, hand-holding, or affectionate gestures become rare, a subtle but powerful form of resentment can take root. Over time, women begin to feel invisible, unloved, or taken for granted, even by the men they once trusted most. Barbara Lewis, a 69-year-old retired librarian from Portland, Oregon, described it poignantly. "We used to hold hands every morning as we walked to the coffee table. Now, it's like we live in parallel lives, the same house, the same bed, but different worlds. I don't resent him because he's unkind, I resent that we've stopped being us." Barbara's words echo the experience of countless older women resent marriages that have drifted into routines without intimacy. Research from the Journal of Aging and Health highlights that older couples who maintain even small acts of physical touch report higher satisfaction, reduced depression, and stronger emotional bonds. The absence of touch is more than physical, it signals emotional distance. When their husbands unconsciously withdraw from intimacy, women may interpret it as rejection, which compounds the withholding resent they've been carrying for years. Husbands, here's a vital truth: your partner's need for closeness doesn't vanish with age. It evolves. The wife demands now are often simple: a reassuring hand on the shoulder, a gentle hug in the hallway, a quiet moment of closeness after dinner. These acts rebuild trust, connection, and the sense of being cherished. They don't require words, only presence. Couples counselor Dr. Emily Sanders from Boston, Massachusetts notes, "Intimacy in later life isn't just about sex. It's about consistent, small gestures that say, 'You are my partner, my companion, my love.' When those gestures disappear, women begin to feel that the emotional and physical space they share has been replaced by routine and distance. Understanding this is crucial because many men assume that the absence of complaints equals contentment, but in reality, older women resent the emotional gap long before they speak up. The good news? 5 ways to restore intimacy exist, and they don't involve grand romantic gestures. They include intentional touch, shared hobbies, daily check-ins about feelings, verbal affirmations of appreciation, and creating small rituals that reconnect the heart. These steps remind both partners that even after decades together, love can remain vibrant and alive. Intimacy fades not because love is gone, but because connection is neglected. Rebuilding it takes awareness, patience, and a willingness to listen and respond to the unspoken needs of your partner. In the next paragraph, we'll wrap up everything we've learned, reflect on these 5 hidden reasons why older women resent their husbands, and share a hopeful message on how couples can restore love, understanding, and closeness in their golden years, plus the final call to action for Golden Age wisdom. Closing, rediscovering love in the golden years. After decades of shared life, it's easy to assume that love will survive on its own, but as we've seen, older women resent their husbands not out of malice, but because emotional neglect, unmet expectations, communication breakdown, misunderstood demands, and fading intimacy quietly erode connection. These 5 hidden challenges are often invisible until the weight becomes too heavy to ignore. Yet, the stories of Evelyn in Madison, Linda in Tucson, Joanne in Raleigh, Carol in Denver, and Barbara in Portland remind us that it's never too late to rebuild, repair, and renew love. Rediscovering love in later life requires intentionality. It means showing up, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. It means learning to listen when your partner speaks, noticing when she longs for a simple touch, and responding to the wife demands not as complaints but as invitations to reconnect. Studies from the University of Michigan and the Journal of Aging and Health consistently show that couples who actively nurture their emotional and physical bonds in their senior years experience higher life satisfaction, reduced depression, and improved health outcomes. Simply put, restoring connection isn't just good for the marriage, it's good for life itself. The key takeaway is simple yet profound: love at 60, 70, or beyond doesn't happen by accident. It requires attention, empathy, and courage. Husbands, raise your reminder: your wife's resentment isn't a reflection of failure, it's a call to action. Their husbands, raise your opportunity to listen, to adapt, and to show that after decades together, you still care enough to meet her where she is. And for women, understanding the origin of resentment can empower you to communicate your needs without fear, to embrace patience, and to recognize the small gestures that signal love. Reflecting on these stories and research, one thing becomes clear: the golden years can be a time of rediscovered intimacy and shared joy if couples make the conscious choice to act. Each day offers 5 ways to restore closeness, from thoughtful listening and small acts of touch, to honest conversations and mutual appreciation. Every effort counts, no matter how small, because it reconnects hearts that time may have quietly separated. So, as we close this chapter, remember this: resentment does not have to define your later years. With understanding, empathy, and consistent effort, marriage can evolve into a deeper, more meaningful partnership, one that honors decades of shared memories while creating space for renewed connection, laughter, and love. If you've stayed with us until the very end, take a moment to reflect and comment below. Let us know which of these 5 hidden reasons resonated with you most. And don't forget to continue learning, healing, and growing in love. Like, share, and subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom. Your support helps more couples discover the secrets to lasting happiness, emotional fulfillment, and joy in the golden years. Remember, it's never too late to restore love, heal resentment, and create the kind of relationship that makes the later years truly golden.